everybody, welcome back to my channel. On this channel we review cruelty-free makeup and other beauty products, and I give you a review based on either a first impression or multiple uses of the products. I give my review based on the CAT system, which is C for the cost of the product, A for the application of the product, and T for the packaging of the product. So if you are interested in seeing my thoughts and reviews on multiple items from the Milani Gilded Flora collection, then keep watching. Alright, so first let me start out by saying that I did not order the entire collection. In this case, there were a lot of products. I do buy the products out of my own pocket, and so in some cases I will buy a full collection, and in other cases, if I don't think I would use everything, I try to be efficient and only buy products that I would use. So in the Milani Gilded Flora collection, there are many items, as I just said, and these are going to be available on Milani.com as well as in person in Walmart stores. I believe they might be on Walmart online as well, but I did not check that, but I did see them when I was looking for the Cookies and Dreams collection from e.l.f., which is a previous video I filmed. I did come across the Gilded Flora collections in stores at Walmart. So the products that I did pick up from the collection are going to be kind of the star of the show in my opinion, which is the Milani Gilded Flora Eyeshadow Palette. We also have one of the Milani Color Fetish Matte Lipsticks, and the packaging is the shade. This is the shade I'm currently wearing now. I also picked up the lashes from this collection, which are also vegan, so they're cruelty-free and vegan. Obviously I'm wearing them. The style is called Flora. And then the last thing that I picked up, which I'm still not entirely sure if this was meant to be part of the collection, whenever I ordered from Milani.com and clicked Gilded Flora collection, these came up, but I thought I had seen these out before, so these may or may not officially be part of the collection, but I did pick them up in the order. And this is the Fruit Fetish Lip Oil, and this is in 130, which is the Raspberry Peach. And that is what that looks like. So today I've already put on the lashes, the eyeshadow palette, and the lipstick, so I'm going to give you a review on those products, again using the CAT system. And then this is a matte lipstick, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this lip oil live on camera so you can kind of see what the lipstick looks like if you do put a lip oil on top of it, specifically one that matches the collection. So really quickly, I do want to briefly go over the items that are in the collection that I did not purchase. So this was a pretty large collection, and I just didn't see myself needing or using all the products that were in this one specifically. So I only picked up ones that I was personally interested in and knew that I would get a lot of use out of. So in the collection, you also have a setting spray, which does, be warned, it does have a very strong floral scent. I have used Milani setting sprays before. They come out frequently with collections. I like them a lot. They're typically priced around $10. They are a small bottle, but I do find they are a pretty decent setting spray, especially for something at the $10-ish price point. They also had a tinted lip balm that came out. So this was, I'm not sure if it had a wand or if it was just one of the twist off tops, but it was in like a hot pink tube. And I believe it had some floral design on the front of it. Very cute. Looking back, instead of picking up this lip oil, I would have gotten that instead. The reason that I got the lip oil though is recently in an Ulta purchase, I got a free sample of the Clarins Lip Oil. And unfortunately, Googling that, I found out Clarins is not a cruelty-free brand. So even though I absolutely loved the lip oil that they had, the specific one I had I believe was raspberry, and I wanted to purchase it, it was very expensive at $27. Obviously I do not purchase anything if it's not cruelty-free, so I passed on that, but I have been looking to try to find a cruelty-free dupe for that. And so when I saw these lip oils from Milani, I thought this potentially could be a dupe. And keep watching and I'll let you know what I thought about that and if it actually ended up being a dupe or not. There were also some eyeshadow sticks, so I'm not a huge eyeshadow stick person. I've reviewed a few of them on my channel. I just really like eyeshadow palettes, powders, and so it's rare that I'm gonna pick up a pencil or a cream product. I do sometimes if it looks like something that would interest me, but in this case I chose not to. They did have some very pretty shimmer colors though, and if you are someone who likes a quick look or you're just a fan of eyeshadow sticks in general, you can definitely check those out. Currently at Milani.com, you can get a $35 kit that includes the balm that I talked about before, the tinted lip balm, the eyeshadow palette, and the lashes for $35, which is a really good deal. So if you are curious and kind of getting a bundle package deal, I would recommend checking that one out as well. You can also get the lipsticks at Ulta. So the lipsticks again look like this. So you can't get anything else, at least currently, from the collection at Ulta, but they do have 4 of these shades. I believe they came out with 6, and Ulta currently has 4 in stock, to the best of my knowledge that I remember. All right, so I think that that's all of the major info that I wanted to run through before we jump into my review of the products. So specifically, I picked up the shade Fleur, and that's Fleur in case you're wondering for spelling. This is number 350 in the collection, and it looks like this. Very pretty packaging. It's got the Milani brand there, and this is obviously the color of the tube matches the color of the lipstick. So after buying this and applying it today for the first time, which again I'm wearing right now, these are so pigmented. This is one swipe coverage. They are one of the most pigmented tube lipsticks I have ever used. So if you are a fan of tube lipsticks, I highly recommend these right off the bat. Milani had released a collection previous to the Flora Gilded Flora collection where they had I think it was six shades of nude colors in the color, let's see, they're called Color Fetish Matte Lipstick. They went viral. They were sold out for a very long time. And then in response to the great reviews that they were receiving, they decided to come out with 6 more shades, but this time colorful, bright colors for spring. And so this is one. I wish there's kind of a mid-tone pink color. I wish I had picked up that one. I think I would have worn it more, but I am a sucker for like a darker berry shade. And so I picked up this one, which again is kind of this darker berry shade. The problem is now I have so many dark berry shades that I've got to try to branch out, I think, and try out some other shades and other colors. But I am very happy with the color. I do think it's very true to the packaging. So if I zoom you in a little bit more and hold it up here, hopefully you can tell that the color is like literally the same. So I'm gonna assume that in the other lipsticks as well, if you are in the store looking at these and you see the outer packaging color, that should be the color of the lipstick inside. They are just a traditional lipstick, so this is what it looks like twisted out. There's the color there. I will do a swatch on the back of my hand for you. So there you go. Again, very pigmented. I just want to show you how creamy in one swipe. So I'm gonna barely touch on my hand right now and go just straight down in one soft swipe and watch how pigmented this is. You see what I'm talking about? This is pretty insane. So I do think if you are someone who likes a traditional style lipstick in a bullet and you are a fan of matte and bold colors, these are great. I do find that they're very comfortable to wear. About 2 hours now. It definitely did dry down to a matte finish, I would say, but it's comfortable to wear. So it's not transfer proof. So here's my other hand with nothing on the back. And you do see that it does transfer, obviously there, but it didn't really mess with the application. So let's zoom in one more time there. Still fully pigmented, still fully opaque. So I think that this is a good option for someone who likes the look of a matte lipstick, but is looking for something that is more comfortable to wear. Just keep in mind it does transfer. Now, me personally, I probably won't pick any more of these up from this specific collection just because I am 100% a liquid lipstick person. So I like liquid lipsticks. They're so much easier for me to apply on my lips, and I love everything about them. So I'm happy to have this in my collection. I'll definitely use it again. I think that it's easy for touch-ups, so really quick, we just blotted it. So let's zoom in one more time. So it did smear a little bit down here. Not bad though. I didn't use a lip liner with this. One thing that I would recommend for these darker shades specifically is that you do pick up a matching lip liner. I don't remember if Milani has matching lip liners. There weren't any in this specific collection. I'm sure there are other very affordable brands that do have cruelty-free lip liner options though that would match these. So the price of these Color Fetish matte lipsticks are $8.99. And again, if you do pick them up at Ulta, remember Ulta often has a $3.15 off a $15 purchase coupon for the non-prestige brands, and Milani would be one of those brands. So if you do pick up enough products again and hit that $15 mark, you could get through $50 off and potentially save a little bit of money on that. Now, the second thing, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not really sure if this was supposed to be part of the collection or if this is something that they had already had out. If you actually know, if you're someone who's a big fan of the Milani brand and you kind of keep up with their product releases, please let me know if you know of this as being something that has been out for a while. But that is the Fruit Fetish Lip Oil. So here's what the packaging looks like. You've got the title there, the Fruit Fetish. It's got a little picture of a raspberry. It is Raspberry Peach 130. Then on the back you have, let's do it this way, the Milani name. Very, very pretty. When you open it, I should also say this is reminding me of the lipstick. There is no discernible scent to the lipstick to me. So if you're someone who doesn't like scents, I think you would be okay with this. But I did want to mention that if you pick up the setting sprays, again, that floral scented setting spray, it's probably going to be a very, very strong scent, because I have purchased multiple different scents in the setting sprays from Milani in the past, and they are always very, very scented. So they work well, but are highly scented. Just keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do now is pop out the applicator for this and talk a little bit about this. So on the back of my hand, I went ahead and wiped off the lipstick. You can see that this has a light pink tint to it, and it kind of shears out as you build it, but it does give a little something there. The applicator on this is very large. It's a very big doe foot applicator, which is easy for application. I'm someone who has naturally smaller lips, so I think that for me, I have to be a little bit careful with this one, but since it's pretty much a sheer gloss, it's okay if I, make some little mistakes here or there. But if you're someone with bigger lips, you would probably appreciate a nice big plush applicator like this. It's very soft, it feels very luxurious, and I'm not sure, but I think when I was Googling the Clarins Lip Oil to try to see if it was cruelty-free, I saw the one for those. I'm pretty sure this one is actually similar to the one there. So of course the big question, oh, and I should say the price of this is also $8.99, I think, unless you pick it up on sale. Yeah, I don't think I wrote the official price down, but I think it's around the same price as the lipsticks. So if you are someone who is looking for a lip oil for comfort, these are very comfortable. I've worn it a few times this week. I do have to say I don't consider it to be a dupe for the Clarins Lip Oil. The reason for that is because it's just a little bit of a thinner consistency. When I put on that sample of the Clarins Lip Oil, it felt very expensive, very luxurious, it lasted for hours, and it really just felt like a really high-end pampering type of product. I think that this is very, very, very close to that. It's just the formula is not quite the same. However, this is significantly cheaper. I'm not sure about the amount of product you get, but it is significantly cheaper. The shades are very similar, so again, they're pretty much clear, right? But they all have a kind of a somewhat of a tint to them. So if you are looking for a dupe for that, this would be a cruelty-free option you could check out. Again, I just don't think the formula is quite the same as those. So what I want to do now, which I actually have not done yet, I've only worn this on my bare lips this week to test it out. That way, I want to put it on top of this matte lipstick and see how it goes on top of one of their Color Fetish matte lipsticks. So if you're someone who has very dry lips, or you just don't like the look or the feel of matte, you could definitely go in with this on top. So I've dipped in once. Definitely got all over the applicator, so I'm gonna gently wipe that off before I dip back into it again. It probably doesn't matter, but I like to keep the ones as clean as I can so that it doesn't taint the color of the lip glosses. And you can already see it's very, very shiny. It definitely gives a high shine finish. So there you have it. Definitely smells and tastes like raspberries and peaches. I like that combination. I don't mind that it's a scented product in this case because I actually like how that smells. But if you are someone who's sensitive to different scents, you should probably keep in mind that if you pick up the lip oils, you are going to be picking up something that has scent in it. Oh, and I forgot to give my official system of review, so let's do that quickly for our two lip products. So for my official opinion on the Fleur, again, that's number 350 Fleur Color Fetish Matte Lipstick, I'm gonna give this 4 black cats out of 5 black cats. The reason for that is because it is a very pigmented product. It is cruelty-free, it is affordable. I think a lot of people will enjoy this. I did find it to just be a little bit messy upon application, which is why I didn't give it 5 stars, or not 5 stars, 5 black cats out of 5 black cats. And specifically, I just think that you could do better and find something better. Having said that, I'm very biased towards bullet lipsticks because I have a hard time with any bullet lipstick that I put on that is a darker color. So if you're good at that, if you have a good lip shape to easily apply these, you may find that this is like a 5 out of 5. I'm pretty sure that most of the reviews online at Walmart, at Ulta, and at Milani, this is reviewed almost at a 5 out of 5. So definitely check these out if you're interested, and keep in mind they do have the natural shades as well. So one more time, the cost for this is $8.99. The application, phenomenal, one swipe, super pigmented. The packaging is stunning. I think that this looks like a very high-end type of packaging, even though this is a drugstore brand specifically. So again, 4 out of 5 Black Cats, definitely recommend it. I do wish that they would come out with liquid lipsticks in this color and in the color range that this had, because I would much rather pick those up. For the Fetish Lip Oil, I'm also going to give this 4 Black Cats out of 5 Black Cats. Again, if it had been the exact dupe for the Clarins Lip Oil, it would have been a perfect 5 out of 5. The only thing I don't like about it is it just doesn't feel quite as luxurious on the lips as that Clarins formula that I tried, but I do think that the cost was fair at $8.99. I think that the application was great. I love the big doe foot applicator. You get a lot of product. It's very shiny on the lips. It looks like an expensive lip gloss and lip oil. Again, the only reason I took off is it's just not quite perfect and quite what I would want it to be, but I do recommend this as well. Next, we'll jump into the lashes. So obviously I have the lashes on my face right now. This is the packaging for them. They are called the Flora lashes, number 250. They are vegan, and it says bold lashes are in bloom with this captivating pair of faux lashes. So again, these are 100% vegan and cruelty-free. I will zoom you in so you can take a look at them on my eyes. And so kind of, you know, a general assessment of these. In the packaging, these looked like my ideal set of lashes. They were big, they were bold, very thick, and they had kind of the cat eye effect. So I was expecting these to be phenomenal. I do think they are exceptionally lightweight. So when I'm blinking right now, for them to be as thick banded as they were, they feel very lightweight. I think that the claim of that is very true on the packaging. The only thing is that I had a little bit of difficulty with this eye. I don't know why. I put fake lashes on multiple times a week, usually have no problems with it, use the same glue that I always use, but for some reason I could not get the angle down on this eye specifically, so I did have to reapply it 2 times, which again is not normal for me for lashes. So at first I was a little bit concerned that may be a problem, but then I put on this side and I had no problems at all. So I want to try them out again. They are definitely reusable, and I'm excited and curious to see how they hold up. So for now, I'm not sure if I want to recommend these, but I will keep you posted. So hopefully in the next video that I do, if I review something that does not include fake lashes, I will wear this pair again and give you a really quick update. I do feel comfortable recommending them though, because they are vegan, and I think that they're a very luxurious pair, and once I got them on my eyes, I think that they are beautiful for spring. I think they do match kind of this idea of like blooming florals and blooming flowers, and I've enjoyed them so far, so I'll keep you posted. As far as the cat system goes, the cost of these was $10, which $10 lashes for a drugstore brand is a lot. However, looking at these lashes, they looked expensive, they looked luxurious, they looked like lashes that you would pay, you know, $20 to $30 for. So the cost for me was fair. I had no problem with that, but keep in mind these are a little bit more expensive for a drugstore brand. The application, again, one eye went great, one eye I struggled with, so it's kind of a 50-50 toss-up on application, and I thought the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I love the colors here. I'll hold it up close. It's got the berries and the purples. It's got the kind of the pop of yellow there. The back has all the information. I think that this is just really nice, sleek packaging that fit in beautifully with the rest of the collection. So I'm actually going to give those 4.5 Black Cats out of 5, so very close to perfect. I will keep you updated, so assuming that I can get them to reapply again with no issues and that was just a one-off situation with one of the eyes, then they may end up going up to a 5 out of 5. We'll see. And I'm also curious to see how many wears you would get out of these. Now for the star of the show, the thing I was most excited about, and that is the eyeshadow palette. So this is the Milani Gilded Flora palette. Here is the outside packaging, very similar to the lashes packaging there. And it says that this is inspired by fields of flowers with shades of lavender, rose, and lemon, paired with a bouquet of complementary neutrals, undeniably gilded. I think that this really is what drew me into the collection, and so let's take a peek inside. And there it is. I love this color story. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. You do have the shade names inside for each of the colors there. I do think that on camera under these lights, it is pulling a little bit darker than it actually is. So if you could imagine these shades slightly lighter in person, is probably more of an accurate description. So let's talk about it. So obviously my eyes today were done with the palette. I'll do a quick slow-mo for you. Alright, and before I talk about my cat system review, I do want to pop in specifically some swatches that I took. So I did do finger swatches on my arm, and then I went into outside lighting in the sun so that you could not only see them kind of in the studio lights on my face, but you could also see finger swatches in outside lighting. So I'm going to pop that in here. And while you're looking at these, I really want to talk about how they swatched. So first and foremost, the shimmers are stunning. One swipe, one soft swipe in the pan, and that is what you see on my arm in the sunlight there, and they're absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous colors. The mattes look a little powdery on the finger swatches on my arm, and that's because they are. There is a lot of kickback in the pan, whether you use your fingers or a brush, you do have a lot of kickback. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about for application and be warned about, is if you're someone who doesn't like kickback, you are not going to like this palette because everything has kickback. Both the shimmers and the mattes have kickback. Now, when it came to actually applying them and putting them on my eyes today, let's talk about it. So I was so excited after swatching them on my arm. I thought that this was going to be maybe even my favorite palette of all time. It had yellows, it had pinks, it had purples, it had these amazing shimmers. Honestly, when I swatched them on my arm, I was really getting like Pat McGrath vibes, which if you know Pat McGrath eyeshadows, they're exceptionally expensive, phenomenal quality, but again, exceptionally expensive. And so I was super excited to see if maybe this was, I'm not going to say a dupe for Pat McGrath, because I don't think there really are dupes for Pat McGrath eyeshadows. They're that good, but I thought this was going to be about as close as you could get without it actually being so. So let's talk about our cat system. So cost of this palette is $20. Now $20 is a little on the higher end for a drugstore brand. However, I don't have a problem with the price after having used the palette. I do think this is worth $20. I do think it's a fair price, and I do think this performs more like a prestige palette minus the kickback. Kickback doesn't bother me personally. I have no issues with it. I just tap my brush off before I go in, and so I have no reason to take off for that, but some of you may. The application on the finger swatches I thought was beautiful. Unfortunately, I do have to say the shimmers on the eyelids did not swatch quite the same or go on quite the same. So I tried a couple of different methods, and I want to talk about that in a minute. So let's continue looking here. So just quickly, on my eyes today, I went in with this shade here, Garden Path in the crease. Then I deepened that up with this brown shade, Salt of the Earth. I then slightly deepened the outer corner up with the darkest shade, Take Root here, which is a dark brown. Under my waterline, I went back in with Salt of the Earth. And then on my lid, I went in with what I thought would be one of my favorite shades in the palette, and that's this matte, my Pretty Peony. And that ended up being beautiful. It was very pigmented. It didn't feel as chalky as other pastel pinks I've used in the past. However, keep in mind, it did have a lot of kickback, so just make sure that you're okay with that before you purchase the product. I then wanted to try out this really pretty kind of peachy coral shade down here called Best Bud, and so that's what you see under my eyebrows. Today I thought I would do something a little bit avant-garde or different, but still kind of keep it subtle and soft, and so that's where you see that color today. I do think it went on the eyes a little bit darker than it swatched on my arm, and then it is in the pan. After that, I went in with the matte yellow here called What's Up Buttercup, and I put that on my inner corner. And on top of that, I went in with the yellow shimmer here called Busy Bee. And as you can see, that shimmer did great. I will say that What's Up Buttercup, the yellow matte shade, was not as pigmented as the pink matte, my Pretty Peony. So just be aware if you pick up this palette, if you're like me, I love all yellows, any shades of yellows. The yellow was not as great as the other mattes in the palette. It still worked, it just took kind of building it up to get it to have the opacity that I wanted it to have. And once I did that, it looked great, but it did take some work. And then finally, I went in with what I thought was my favorite shade in the whole palette, and that was this shimmer here called Bouquet. And that is just kind of this really pretty pink, orangey, gold shifty color. And I'm gonna swatch it again because I love it so much. There it is on the finger. And there it is on the back of my hand. It's so pretty. The shimmers in this palette really reminded me of roses when they're multicolored. So those like yellowy, goldy, pinky roses, yellow and orange roses, lavender, I don't know, I just really was drawn to the idea of roses with these shimmers for some reason. So again, that's what it looks like on the back of my hand. And what I want to do now is kind of hold that next to my eyes and close them. So I think that I got pretty close. This is just all over the center of my lid today. I think I got pretty close to achieving the color that you see here on the eye. But it was a little bit of a buildup, so let's talk about that. So this is kind of my biggest, I don't want to say concern, but the biggest fault that I have as far as application goes for the shimmers. Now again, I've only used 2 shimmers today. The yellow I had no problems with. It went on beautifully over the top of that matte yellow. Again, it's just small spaces in the inner corners of my eyes here, but it did great. On the lid though, I think that there's a little bit of a struggle to get the shimmer to be as shimmery on your lid if you put it on top of one of the matte shadows specifically. So again, that shade Bouquet, I had put the pink down, and then I just wanted to over the top of that go in with the shimmer color Bouquet, and it took a lot of building up to get it to be shimmery. Now, when I finished, I think I went in with my ring finger and I did 3 coats, which is a lot for a shimmer. Usually like 1 or 2 coats is plenty for most. But I did build it up a 3rd time, and I still didn't feel like it looked as beautiful as that swatch on my arm. So at that point, I did take a little bit of NYX Glitter Glue and just over the top of what I had already put down, dabbed a little bit of that glitter glue in, and then go back in again with my finger, put some more down, and then I went in again with a brush and put some more down. So if this looks textured at all, it's because there are multiple layers of eyeshadow in the center of my eye right now. Now, even though that took a lot of work, I'm super happy with it. And I think that this is a learning curve situation. So in the future, if I want to use that shimmer shade, I'm just gonna use it by itself. It looks pigmented enough to me on the finger swatch that I think it doesn't need that baby pink matte under it. I think that if I want to use it in the same look today, I would have not put the pink down in the center of the eye, just put it barely on the inner corners here before I hit that yellow, and then I would have went in just with that shimmer, and I think it would have popped and been gorgeous. I also think that it would be great to go ahead and start with the NYX Glitter Glue. Some shimmers need it, some shimmers don't. You could also try wetting your brush. I didn't try that technique today, but it's possible that that would also take care of the problem. So I'm gonna keep you posted and keep you updated. I'm still, even with not sure about how that shimmer went today, I'm still gonna give this palette 4.5 black cats out of 5 black cats. I just love it that much. This is the best color story that I've seen for a spring palette in a long time. This is exactly what I want in a spring palette. I have neutrals, I have pastels, I have just beautiful shimmers. I love everything about this. So I am only taking off half a star and not giving it a perfect 5 out of 5 just based on the struggle I had with the shimmer today. But again, I think I learned the proper way to do it for next time. So hopefully I'm going to use this again in a video in the future where I'm not reviewing an eyeshadow palette. And just as I mentioned with the lashes, I'm going to give this another go, use different colors, use a different shimmer, give you a different look, and then I'll update you to see if it bumped up to that 5 out of 5 black cats mark. So finally, the packaging. So I've already done cost and application, and to wrap up the packaging, in this case, I felt like the packaging could have been a little cuter. I would have liked to see more florals on it. I love the colors, the lavender, the darker smoky color, purple here at the bottom, the pop of yellow, but if they could have just had a few flowers or just something on there to kind of pop a little bit more, that would have been my preference, but I am happy with the packaging as it is. So, final thoughts, I would recommend all the products that I tried from the Gilded Flora collection from Milani. My top recommendation is going to be the eyeshadow palette, again, assuming you don't mind a little bit of kickback. And also, I'm happy to report there was no scent on this eyeshadow palette. So, the only scented products that I know of from the collection are going to be the setting spray and then the lip oils if you pick one of those up. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me for this one. Please let me know if you've tried this yet. If you have a suggestion on how to get these shimmers to be more efficient and work better, please let me know down below. And honestly, I've got to say, I'm so excited about this palette. I think this might be literally the first time in my life I've ever bought a backup palette. So I love this so much. I plan on using this so much this spring that I anticipate hitting pan on a lot of the shades really quickly, and I do want to have a backup because I like it that much. So hopefully I've given you enough information. If you have any questions about any of the products or any suggestions for future videos, please leave the comments down below. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, anything like that, just taking the time to watch my video. I appreciate it so much. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.